What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. As always, my name is G, and today we have a pretty insane story that has been pretty much brought into the world here in regards to the Biden administration allegedly paying out up to $450,000 to families that were separated in the border in regards to the Trump administration when he did that whole no tolerance policy where they sort of kind of separated the families from their kids and put them like in cages and stuff like that. But before I do get into the story here, I just want to make a quick reminder that if you'd like to support me in my YouTube adventures here, you can definitely do so by liking this video. It'll help me out tremendously with the YouTube's algorithm. And if you're new to the channel, you want to know what I'm all about, I am simply just a guy that likes playing video games. I do add commentaries in regards to news, current events, and reports and all that good stuff. So if that's something that you'd be interested in watching, definitely consider subscribing. It's completely free, and hey, you can always unsubscribe at any time. But with that being said, man, let's get straight to the point of this video. So like I mentioned, man, today I've been reading this article that has been pretty much released by the Wall Street Journal in regards to the U.S. in talks to pay hundreds of millions to families separated at the border. The government is considering payments up to $450,000 per person affected by the Trump administration's zero tolerance policy in the year 2018. So I'm sure you guys have probably already heard this or probably seen snippets on the news. Maybe you might have gotten an article about this, and it's been an issue that has pretty much alarmed a lot of U.S. citizens, has pretty much has annoyed a lot of people as well, especially those that are kind of already kind of fed up with Biden's administration, the whole inflation situation. That if you guys have been keeping track with the news, you'll know that under the Biden administration, crime rates have skyrocketed up to like 39%. The gas prices has risen up to 42%, foods 19%, and even furniture up to 13%. Has pretty much risen up to that due to the inflation that pretty much Biden said in the reporting, saying that the inflation was just going to go away, that all of this was just temporary due to the ongoing situation that's taking us by storm even here in the year 2021. So he basically told us as a nation to not worry about it, that it should all go down. But as we all saw, and for what I mentioned, everything has pretty much risen, especially the gas, 42%. That is a lot. I'm sure I'm not the only one that every time I put pump gas into my car and I see the receipt and seeing how much it takes to fill it up, it hurts. That's a lot of money that we're wasting on gas, especially when you're commuting from to and going from to work. It's a lot of money. So this does not really paint Biden and his administration in a positive light, because a lot of U.S. citizens, a lot of Americans are pretty much just already at the breaking point, and this just kind of it's almost like another slap in the face, considering they're paying off to these illegal immigrants who pretty much crossed the border illegally, and they're kind of just stopped and put in in these facilities until they're they're free to go or let go and all that, and now they're pretty much getting paid here. But then you go ahead and pull up the post here. Again, I will be leaving the article link in the description, so if you want to read for yourself, you'll find all that information in the description. But continue on here, and I pull that up on the screen here. It says here, Washington, the Biden administration is in talks to offer immigrant families that were separated during the Trump administration around $450,000 a person in compensation, according to people familiar with the matter, as several agencies work to resolve lawsuits filed on behalf of parents and children who say the government subjected them to lasting psychological trauma. The U.S. Departments of Justice, Homeland Security, and Health and Human Services are considering payments that could amount to close to $1 million a family, though the final numbers can shift. The people familiar with the matter said most of the families are that crossed the border illegally from Mexico to seek asylum in the U.S., including one parent and one child. The people said many families will likely get similar payouts depending on their circumstances. The American Civil Liberties Union, which represents families in one of the lawsuits, has identified about 5,500 children separated at the border over the course of Trump's administration, citing figures provided to it by the government. The number of families eligible under the potential settlement is expected to be smaller to the people, said the government officials aren't sure how many will come forward. Around 940 have so far been filed by the families, the people have said. The total potential payout could be $1 billion or more. So as you can see, man, $1 billion are going to pretty much be given or handed out to these families that were separated during the Trump administration for crossing the border illegally, and they are basing this on the base of them having psychological trauma. And again, I'm saying that with quotations. Of course, I can't really say for sure what it was like to be separated from your families and all that. So that number is pretty insane, and as you can imagine, there's a lot of Americans that are not happy about this, and they're pretty much annoyed that Biden would sort of kind of tuck his tail between his legs and settle and agree to pay out this amount. And so I kind of have a post here that I pulled, which was from Donald Trump Jr., which just I thought it pretty much summed everything that I'm assuming we all are feeling. So I'm gonna pull up the Instagram post here. He posted on his description here, "Hey, let's give illegals $450,000 each, almost $1 million per couple for being inconvenienced at the border, and then let's make sure the IRS can look at any American that has $600 in their bank account to make sure that they're not hiding anything from the government, so that the government can give their money to illegal immigrants. Just understand where you as an American citizen stand in this scheme. I say unbelievable, but this seems to be totally in line with all Democrat policy these days." So yeah, that's pretty much, I think, where we all can kind of, share that same sentiment. And, I can definitely say for sure, that's insane, considering from a person who is, was born here in the US, and I've tried so many times to try to get assistance in different avenues, because I mentioned in my previous videos that I was born with a physical disability, and me even getting Social Security or SSI is a fucking mission, and that's literally just me getting like a payment of $765, I believe that's how much they're paying out for for getting SSI, and I can't even get that shit. You have to jump through so many hoops to get that, and now you have situations where people who are not from here, who are crossing the border illegally, are pretty much getting this handout because there were inconvenience at the border. It's almost like you're being, this is the way I see it. You're pretty much going into a person's house uninvited, and you expect to be welcomed with open arms. Like, that shit doesn't sit well, right? You obviously will stop that person, tell them, hey, you can't come in here, let me go ahead and, let's talk some shit and, whatever. That's the way I kind of see when, illegal immigrants sort of kind of cross the board. You sort of kind of have to work your way in. There's a process that you can do. And, again, the whole separation and all that, I can definitely see how that can be kind of traumatic for, youngsters and all that. But in a way, you kind of have to look at the parents who put their kids through that experience. And I understand, I'm not gonna bash the parents for doing that, because again, I don't want to be hypocritical. I don't want to be completely biased, because my parents actually also kind of did that the same way. They came into this to the States illegal, but it was kind of like a whole process that they kind of had to go through to get all that shit situated, where they had to go back and get that whole thing fixed, and now they got their green card and all that. They're kind of like illegal. Now I wouldn't say they're citizens and all that, but they're here illegally now. They can work and all that. They kind of contribute to society because they went through the whole process, getting that shit done. So I understand that some families kind of cross the border and they want to do this kind of provide a better future for their kids, just like my dad and my mom did for us. They've kind of provided that better opportunities for us. But they have to understand that there's a process when it comes to that. You can't just cross and expect to be welcomed like like you did something that it should be rewarded. Like, it's a process, and I understand that wherever you're living might be really shit, especially in the government that was pretty much taken over in Mexico. For those who don't know the political sides from Mexico, you probably don't understand just how corrupted that place was up till right now. It is getting a little bit better. I definitely want to make another video in regards to the political issue that's going on in Mexico, because I've been really talking to my dad a lot about this, and he has been really keeping track with the whole political aspect that's going on in Mexico. So I definitely want to make a video about that. So it is getting a lot better, but keep in mind, back in the day it was really bad. So I definitely understand why some families will want to cross, but this is not the right way to do it. And considering that yeah, they were kind of separated and just questioned. It wasn't something that was completely, it wasn't like they were being enslaved or, being treated horribly. Of course, there's reports out there trying to sensationalize everything, especially with Donald Trump, right? A lot of people really kind of like throwing Donald Trump under the bus and making it seem like he was like, the devil, and they mistreated all these immigrants when they were kind of locked in those cages. Like, they were malnourished, it was in a cold facility and all that. They weren't really treated well. We can't really say for sure. We weren't there. It's all pretty much hearsay, he said, she said type of thing. And so a lot of families obviously can say, yeah, I did that. And of course, they'll are trying to kind of probably get something out of it, or they probably know that they kind of cheat the system in a way. I'm not sure if they think like that. I like to believe that most people that come into the States have well intentions, and then they're trying to cheat the system and whatnot. But humans are known to be really shady people. So for all we know, they probably are just using that. Maybe their lawyers, their attorneys say, hey, you can milk this shit to get something out of it. And they know Joe Biden is easy to manipulate. I can definitely say that for sure. I'm sure a lot of us kind of share the same sentiment that Joe Biden isn't running the country. I think his administration is running him, and they are pretty much making their own decisions without him really having the final say. And I feel like that's how he is, considering everything that we've seen so far when he goes to these political debates, when he's, given a speech, he pretty much sounds like he's on drugs the whole time, right? Like, I can't be the only one that sees that. Everything that he does, like, there's like this new video that kind of showed him kind of have his fist clenched the whole time. He was like kind of just holding his fist up. I don't understand that. Like, what is wrong with him? Like, I don't know. He's just really weird. He has a bizarre way of doing things, and so I feel like with that, the attorneys kind of saw that, and they kind of see that they can take advantage of him. Of course, this is just all speculation, but I just find it really insane that he would actually sign off on this and agree to pay off these settlements up to $1 billion, guys. $1 billion to, pay off all these families that were allegedly, suffer from post-traumatic trauma or psychological trauma, whatever the article said. It is insane, man. That is really insane. And I don't know, man. Like, it just feels like something. Ever since Biden sort of kind of took office, it's kind of like, who is really running this country? You kind of have to ask yourself that question. Like, I feel like in Biden's administration, the American people come last, and everyone else comes before us, and that shouldn't be the way. And so I'm sure you guys probably already heard this. You probably read the articles, and you were probably angry at this, and you have every right to be angry. But yeah, man, definitely let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Do you think he's doing something that is right? Do you think he's he's pretty much, I guess, helping these families for the situation that happened to them? Or do you think they're just taking advantage of this man, and he just simply is just trying to save face and just tucking his tail between his legs and saying, yeah, fuck it, just sign it off. Let's pay off $450,000 per person. I believe this is per two people. So yeah, almost like $1 million basically per families, and that is crazy. I wish I can get paid that, with just $450,000, I'll be set. That's enough for a down payment here in the state of Arizona. But yeah, I'm not gonna get that shit. But yeah, man. Anyways, yeah, I'm just rambling on. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment in the section if you agree. If not, let's definitely have a debate on here. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys taking the time of your day to watch this video, and I'll see you all on the next one. All right, peace out.